Yes, people, what is going on? I hope we're all good. We're back with another one. And as you've probably seen by the title of the video, we're going to be asking the question, should you buy a ball vape? Now, I've been asked this question pure times. So many are using the comments asking whether they should buy a ball vape or telling me I should buy a ball vape. So as you all know, not too long ago, I went and got myself a ball vape. I don't know how many times I'm going to say ball vape in this video, but it's going to be a lot. But yeah, basically, if you don't know what a ball vape is, essentially, it's a different style of vaporizer. It's still a dry herb vape, but it's a lot more efficient than most dry herb vapes. Generally, they have to be plugged in and they have to be ran through some sort of glassware like a bubbler or something like that. Now, for a start, that's not for everyone, and I get that. That's why, you know, it's took me so long into the vaping journey for me to even consider a ball vape, because for the first few, all I wanted to do was get something that was portable, I could use anywhere and everywhere. Oh, sorry, I can feel a yawn. Oh, shattered, mate. It's a common theme in these videos. But yeah, basically, the ball vape is, the one I've got is the wireless one hit wonder V2, stainless steel. Now, if you haven't seen the video, I've been and unboxed it. You can see a bit more about what it looks like, but essentially how it works is you get a heating coil, you put the ball vape head in the heating coil. As the heating coil heats up, you set the temperature on like a controller called a PID controller to whatever temperature you like, and it heats up the ball vape head. Now the ball vape head is full of balls, little ruby balls. Now these hold the heat. It's like a big thermal heat mass. It holds the heat really well, but allows for really good airflow between all of the balls. So you pull it out and then pop it onto a specially made bowl that works for it, and you take your meds using that. The way I could describe it is so similar to a lighter, but it's just going to be a vaporizer. And I say that is like, you know, if you're somebody who was loading up bubblers beforehand and you've got your combustion bowl, you throw it in there and you're holding a lighter to it. Forget the lighter, you pop your ball vape head on top and then you draw. And it replaces that without it actually combusting, if that makes sense. So it is so close to combustion, which means you get the most efficient extraction and it happens so fast. Now, for some people, that is not for them. Like, I've seen people recently listing Frolics on eBay, saying, you know, it was too much for me. I prefer my X-Max V3 Pro. That's fair enough. That's why nothing is for everyone. That's why there's such a broad spectrum of different devices and even, you know, medications that we can take using these devices, because everyone's looking for something different. Now, with a ball vape, like I say, I'd get asked on the regular, is it worth it? Is there much of a difference? And other people telling me to get one. I'd never heard anyone saying I got one and I didn't like it. But I think that it comes with, how can I describe it? A lot of people who are going to go for the ball vapes are probably somebody who's not new to this plant in general. I would say if you are new to it, definitely a ball vape's not for you. Most likely, I don't know, as I say always, I'm not a doctor. I'm just some geezer sat in his car hitting record and telling you, you know what I mean, my experience. But at the same time, if you know, in fact, let me just finish that as well. If you do need any help with your prescription or your medications, make sure you go and speak to a healthcare professional. I am obviously not one. I can't believe I have to say it, but I have to say it. So yeah, that's it said. Yeah, I would say if you're new to this plant, as a medication especially, but in general, if you're new to this plant, a ball vape might not be the way to go for you. However, if you're not new to it, I've heard a lot of people helping to move them over from the combustion side of things to the vaping by using a ball vape? By using a ball vape. The thing is with the ball vape, yeah, you've got, as I said, you imagine it like a lighter. So what that does is deliver that medication extremely quickly. Now, all right, it might take 10 minutes to heat up. You have to plug it in. You have to have a desk set up somewhere where you can use it. You plug it in, set your temperature, give it 10 minutes to heat up, make a coffee, get your meds ready, and then you fill your bowls up and you take your medication. Now, the amazing part about the ball vape for me, and this was the selling point, I'm not going to lie, was the amount of time that it takes to take your medication. Now, through most vaporizers, not all, but most of them, you can be looking from 3-4 minutes up to 20 minutes to try and get your medication into a point where you're feeling relieved of the symptoms you're trying to get relief from. And especially I found with certain vaporizers, it's been a lot longer than that. Or you might have to go through another bowl and another bowl. And some of that is to do with the colour of the AVB that's coming out and how much you're extracting, and depending on what type of relief you're looking for. Because some terpenes at those higher temperatures, they're just not going to extract if the vape doesn't get to that sort of temperature, or if you can't take a big enough pull for it to get to the flower or whatever it is. There's certain differences between them in that aspect, but across the board, most of them don't go anywhere near as dark in the AVB as a ball vape would. Just because of the nature of it and how you can set it and the freedom. Like, you can really mess with this rig and have it to any heat you want. I actually made a bit of a mistake when switching over from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So it's a bit of a rigmarole going through the settings, because you've just got 3 or 4 buttons that don't really relate to the screen and the screen. Yeah, it's a bit of a, if you've got one, you'll know. To change from Celsius to Fahrenheit is not easy, but once you've done it, it remembers what your temperature was before. So I was on 555 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 2 something in Celsius. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's not, you know, it's like half roughly. It's about 260, or I can't remember exactly. But when I swapped from Celsius to Fahrenheit to Celsius, I went back to the temperature screen, like the normal main screen, which shows your temperature, and it still said 555. And I thought, oh my god, I've done it wrong. I've not enabled the setting. I like switched it over. I mustn't have saved it or whatever, because it's still showing Fahrenheit. Now it doesn't actually show Fahrenheit; it just shows 555. So I was like, right, you know what? After that 10 minutes ordeal, I'm here to take my meds. I'm gonna just take my meds and crack on. That's the whole point of this ball vape. And you can take your meds. You think of it as like, if you're having a dosing cap in one of your other, you know, in a venti, and it might take you 15 minutes to completely extract that. It's like doing the entire dosing cap and extracting it way beyond what it can extract in the venti. Arguably. No, not even arguably. If you put it up high enough temp, yeah, way beyond, because the venti's only going to go to 210. Even the tiny mite, it goes to 250, but it's not quite going to do the same sort of thing. You're not quite going to get the same level of extraction out of it as you will with the ball vape. Like I say, with the ball vape, it is, yeah, you can do what you want with the temperatures. So this is what happened to me. So I went back to the main menu. I thought, oh, I can't be bothered. I need to just take this rip. So I've done it. I've taken it. I've popped it back in. I've cracked on with what I'm doing. I've gone and looked back at it. Like, I'm still in the vicinity of it. I've not just left it unattended, but I'm still in the vicinity, sort of like cleaning up or whatever I'm doing. And I've noticed it's glowing orange. The actual ball, the coil that was the ball vape head was sat in was glowing orange, mate. And that's because it was on 555 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, a bit of an oversight on my behalf. But that's the freedom that you have with these things. Some people are going out there and buying all their own bits and building their own ball vapes rather than buying these kits that are pre-made like I did. But I can see that that's kind of what's been done. It's just multiple components, and you use them together, and you get an extremely high quality dry herb vaporizer that's extremely efficient. But arguably for some people it's going to be too much, and this is what I wanted to get into. Is definitely for some people, they're going to think that the extraction's too much, the complication of it all is too much, the need for glassware is too much. Like, I understand that, as much as loads of us love glassware. Not everyone does. Not everyone's into it. Not everyone has the the space or the opportunity, the ability to use glassware. There's many different factors why they will or won't use pieces of glass. Now, you have to do that for a ball vape. It's one of them things. Ultimately, I personally think the ball vape has been a huge game changer to me. It's allowed me to massively decrease the amount of time it takes for me to take my medication, which is huge because I've got 1,000,001 things going on every day in life. The last thing I need to be doing is sat somewhere for 20 minutes trying to get medicated so that I can crack on with what it is I'm trying to do. Yeah, it's just not for me. I've been there, and it used to be like that when smoking as well. Same way with certain vaporizers, especially, wow, sorry people, absolutely yawning my head off here. Especially the X-Max V3 Pro, that was a lot slower. And to be honest with you, tiny mite to the Ariza Solo. The Ariza Solo was doing a faster job in certain circumstances through bubblers and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's way offs, there's pros and cons. This isn't a comparison of all different vapes before I go down that route. But what I'd say is, if you are looking for 1 to say 3 hit extraction, complete extraction, like for example, I've spoken to some people in the community that they were struggling to come off combustion completely because they were looking for certain pain relieving effects from their medication. Now, this isn't me, this is an anecdote from another member in the community. Big up yourself, you know who you are. In fact, there's a few people that I've spoken to like this now. But yeah, you know who you are. Big up yourself. This was a big eye-opener to me. Since having a bowl vape, they've been able to actually target specific effects that they're looking for, like pain, that they just couldn't get that relief from other vaporizers. And once they, again, this could just be to do with the vaporizer they tried, but once they're trying to step to that type of temperature where those terpenes with the relief that they're looking for are at, a lot of vaporizers are capping out, and they're not even if they show that number of heat on the screen, what's hitting the medication is not that, and therefore you're not extracting that, therefore you're not getting the full effects of that. And that's being then left in the medicine for us to then dispose of. But yeah, it's just, for me, it's that speed thing. It's the efficiency thing, because I don't want to be wasting it. Like, I'll be honest, I can't be arsed with the whole AVB thing anymore. As many of you know, I've been on vape since before I was on medical. So I've been through the whole AVB journey of trying to make this with them, making that with them, making that. And eventually got sick of it, because it's just not really the type of feeling I'm looking for, is what you get from the AVB, if that makes sense. It's, yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but for me, I'm just trying to extract as much of the medication as I can in as fast a time as possible and crack on with my life, because, you know, I fucking love this plant. I love it so much. But at the same time, I love loads of other aspects of my life as well, and I don't want to be caught up in this one thing and being unable to do other things just because of that. And that's kind of what was happening sometimes, and I can see that's why some people would go back to the combustion side of things, especially people who are combusting through bubble bongs and stuff like that, because you're going to get, yeah, it's very fast, it's very efficient. I get it. And I'd say that's exactly who a ball vape's for. It's perfect for someone who's got that bit of experience. They're maybe struggling with the vapes. They've tried a couple vapes. I don't think it's a beginner thing. Now, there is people out there, again, you know who you are, that have gone out and just got themselves a ball vape straight away. But the one person I know who has done that still struggles a little bit with the combustion side of things, which then, you know, throws off your tolerances, throws off your financial game, because, you know, you're saving money from vaporizing, but then all of a sudden you're not, because you have to still combust because you can't get certain effects, or you can't take it out of the house, or you can't. There's certain reasons why getting a ball vape for the first thing is not, you know, it's not the best thing you can possibly do. But I can see why for some people, if you are already experienced and you have the ability to have the setup, you've got the space, etc., you're going to vaporize mostly in the house, or only in the house, because you can't, like I say, it's not easy to take it out anywhere. But yeah, I'd say it's a good shout. Now, one thing as well I just want to say, and I want to mention in terms of ball vapes, is they can be a tolerance killer. Like, you have to have, and again, this is why I think it's way better for someone who's got more experience, is you have to have a level of discipline with a ball vape, because you have the ability to load as much or as little as you want, unlike with a lot of other vapes where, you know, the bowl doesn't go much bigger than 0.2 or 0.1, or some are bigger than that. You might get 0.4 or something like that, but for the most part, you're not going to be, it's not an endless amount, if you like, and it doesn't deliver so quickly. And yeah, it's not the same. With a ball vape, you really, really run the risk of, and I'm speaking from experience, of sending your tolerance on a bit of a journey if you're not careful. Now, the microdose diffuser bowl, that's the one that I use 99% of the time. It helps you keep that tolerance right down. You get the same, or the top level of extraction in terms of everything's being removed from it. I do find with some of the bigger bowls, you don't end up extracting everything before it gets to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm done with that. And then when you tip it out, you realize, oh, there's a little bit still that was left there. Now, you could continue, but it's just, it's what's bearable for you to do. And I don't want to be, you know, coughing my eyeballs out. Yeah, it can happen. It happens, definitely, but I want to avoid it where possible. So I find, like, with the microdose diffuser bowl, pop it on a decent temp, depending on what it is I'm looking for. And because it's so close to the medication, the extraction's very efficient, the extraction's very quick, and it's done in like 2 pulls. Now, if you hop onto these bigger bowls, you can, rather than putting, like, in that microdose, it's like 0.05. If you was to go into these larger bowls, you're talking, you could put half a G, you could probably put more. And what happens is you will just raise your tolerance. Now, you don't notice it at first. I did this myself. So my microdose diffuser bowl got dirty. I needed to clean it, and I just started using the other bowl. I didn't realize there was a reducer that you could put in that bowl that makes it smaller. So I was using the scoop and the bowl, and I was just thinking, yeah, that looks about right. And maybe it was a little bit more, but it turns out it was a fair bit more. And, you know, where I was putting 0.05 in before, I might have been putting in 0.15 now, which is triple the amount. And you only have to do that for a couple of days on the run for your body to go, oh, yeah, I need that much to get that effects now. And slowly but surely, you start looking down at your medication and going, whoa, I'm going through this. I need to re-up. I'm going through this way quicker than I thought I was going to go through it. And this is what happened to me. This is why I'm saying this. This is what happened to me. I didn't realize it was a switching between the bowls that done it for me. I weren't keeping us on top of it as I normally would have, because I was taking it for granted that it was kind of sweet. Because that's what it had been up to now with that microdose bowl. But realistically, I should have thought a bit more and watched what I was doing. And what I've had to do then is bring myself back down and dial that tolerance back. And that's fine. That's okay. You know, this is something we've all done over life. There's certain times in life as well that, you know, who's to say? In fact, there definitely has been certain reasons in those last few weeks where I will have been medicating more for specific reasons and things that had come up in life as well. So that's another one to consider. But I just think it's worth saying, be careful with the ball vape. Like, respect it. Try to use the smallest amount possible and get the most effects out of it, and you will be stunned. Like, I mean stunned. You were going to be like, whoa, yeah. Because that's what I was like. That's what I was like for weeks. And then, like I say, I stepped the tolerance up. I was still getting the same thing, but I was realising I was using more. So, yeah, it took the shine out of it a bit for me for a little bit. Although I was still enjoying it, it was just like, fucking hell, all right, this is costing me a little bit now. What's going on? And then now I've dialed it back. We've sorted it out. We're sticking with a microdose bowl, or if not, we're using a reducer in the normal bowl, which just allows you to keep that still a little bit more than what's in the microdose. But it limits it a lot more. That was a lot of lots. But yeah, so I'd say overall, should you get a ball vape? If you're experienced with this plant and you're looking for something that is as close to combustion as you can get, I would say yes. It's something you should look into, and it's something you should consider. It'd be great if we had, you know, more places where you could just go and try a ball vape out. But unfortunately, that's not the world we're in right now. But who knows where we're going in the future. But yeah, another thing to consider, and I just want to say it quickly, there's wireless or wired ball vapes. There's pros and cons to both. Like, don't think just because I got the wireless one that that's the one to go for. There's a wired one as well, which is arguably better in some ways and arguably worse in others. For me, it was a no-brainer. I had to go for the wireless because essentially, if you've seen the unboxing video, or any time that I've had the wireless one hit Wonder out and about, you'll see it's like a separate head, right? I've got it like I'm holding it now. It's like a separate head, and there's no wire attached to it. You put it in the coil, it heats up, you take it out and you pop it on top of your bowl and you're done. Whereas with, say, the Ruby Twist, which is a fair bit cheaper than the wireless one hit wonder, there's a stand, and the heat and induction coil is actually built into the vape head itself. So there's a wire coming out of it, so you have to move that across to your bubbler on and off with the wire dangling across. Now for me, that's just not happening because I'm too clumsy and I will break more glass. I've broken up glass, I needed to avoid it. However, this being said, when you're considering then the wireless one hit wonder, there's a stainless steel and a titanium version. The titanium heats up faster, which means it cools down faster, which means as soon as you pop it off and put it on the bowl, it's losing heat extremely quickly. It's cooling down extremely quickly. With the stainless steel one, you're not going to get that same rapid temp loss, but you're not going to build up the temp quite as quickly. So rather than 5 minutes, you might be 10 minutes to heat up, which I don't mind. You know, I'll go make a coffee, I'll go do my thing, and then I'll pop in, take my meds, and I'm done in seconds. That's what I love about it. But yeah, essentially, if you wanted to use the ball vape as like a session vaporizer, like you say with your tiny mic where you sat sipping away, you could, but with mine it's going to be a bit more difficult because you're going to want to drop the temp down. So already the ball vape's going to be at a lower temp when you're pulling it out, like when you're pulling the head out. On top of that, it's going to be dropping instantly as soon as it comes out. So whereas it might be at 280 degrees, 300 degrees, and you pull it out and within a few minutes it starts to drop down a little bit, you're still going to be getting the flavour off there. You're still going to be getting the clouds to a degree, and then it's going to taper off. Then you pull it out, pop it back in the coil, give it 30 seconds, maybe a minute, depending on how long you've had it off. It'll heat up again, you're ready to go. Now with the Ruby Twist and with some of the other plugged-in ball vapes, you can just hold it on top and let go and leave it there, and you can sip away because the heat's continuously going through that coil into the Rubies, and the head's continuously held at that heat. So yeah, there's something to be said for that. You know, if you wanted to load a larger bowl up and sip through it gently over time, you could do that. You could do that. Obviously, still going to need the glass. You've still got the setup of the ball vape, and to me, that bit of having a big wire dangling is just too much. I'd rather have the PID with a wire nice tucked away in one section, and I pull the ball vape on and off. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm just one guy with a preference, as with everything else and everyone else in this whole community. So yeah, I hope that's kind of concluded it, people. I'm sure there's way more I could speak on ball vapes, but I don't want to make the video too long. I think we've touched on most of what I can think of off the top of my head, and over time maybe we'll revisit this. But let me know below, people, are you using a ball vape? Do you rate a ball vape over a normal vape? Did you go straight in for a ball vape? Did you go straight in for 5 or 10 other vaporizers before you got the ball vape, which is lots of people do, and then they just realize that they parked all of them up? Me personally, since having this ball vape, I've barely used anything else. I've sold my Ariza Solo, I have got my Tiny Mic 2 and the ball vape and the DynaVap Vong X. They're my 3 at the minute, and honestly the one I use the most is the ball vape. Every day that gets used. The Tiny Mic is on and off. I've done a recent recalibration with that and it's way better than it had been, but I'll talk about that in another video. So I'm using that more every other day or something like that. DynaVap the same. They're kind of interchangeably, them two are getting used, especially if I'm outside. DynaVap's really useful for being out and about. But there's some people who will take their glassware out, and that's fair enough for them. Some people take their ball vapes out. However, yeah, for me, the ball vape's perfect in the house. It's perfect for a quick medication. You're done in seconds and you can crack on with your day. So yeah, for me, it's a decent bit of kit. It's changed the game massively. And like I say, just think about it. If you're okay with what you're using now, you don't need to go out and buy a ball vape. If you're thinking, this is not quite doing what I want it to do, it's taken ages for me to get to where I need to get to the point I'm just going back to combustion, maybe a ball vape's worth considering. Have a look into the portable ball vapes as well. As I say, you've got your portable ball vapes, your Tempest 2s, your Fat Piggies, your Unidynes. There's many different things to go out there. But yeah, let me know what you think, people. It's been a pleasure. It's been a good one. It's been real. It's been nice to sit chatting to everyone. apologies for the missing the stream yesterday. I've had a lot going on in the background and I just weren't able to get on for it. Hopefully we'll be available to jump on the Friday night stream. Still not 100% on what's going on there, but if not, the Sunday one's defo happening, people. Just trust me when I say that. I'll be there for the Sunday one. Hopefully the Friday as well, but I don't know what's going on yet. Like I say, just a lot going on in the background. Thank you for bearing with me, people. I appreciate everyone. Absolutely, massively appreciate everyone. Whether you're, one of the viewers, a member in the Discord, a member of the channel, big up to the channel members as well. The moderators, the lurkers, the haters, every single person, man, big up yourselves. This would not be possible without all of yous. Yeah, it blows my mind still that this is even a thing that we're doing, and I'm very excited to see where we go in the future with this. Yeah, and ball vapes, man. Is this the start? Is there going to be something else that's going to come out that's going to blow them out of the water as well? Who knows? Who knows? But for me, yeah, ball vape pretty much end game. I can see where you can slightly improve each individual one and change them. There's they're a modular thing, but yeah, for me there's nothing that I'll be looking to use every day in the same way as I will with a ball vape now. But I can also see how it's not perfect for everyone. So yeah, I think that's wrapped everything up, people. Thank you for being here. Big love to everyone, and I will catch us in the stream either on Friday or on Sunday. Like I say, thank you for bearing with me, people. Yeah, big love. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you all had a great bank holiday as well. I definitely enjoyed the streams with everyone. Done loads of streams over the bank holiday, to be honest. And it's been cracking. It's such a vibe. You're all fucking legends. So yeah, if you've made it to this point, people, as always, drop the 420 in the chat. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I'm going to go because I'm just rambling now. Take it easy, people. Big love.